Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I am Michelle with Yes Michelle Crochets. And as you enter the room, I have two quick requests for you. The first, of course, is to please hit like before you get into the chat because I don't want you to get too lost and deep in the woods of our fun conversation tonight. Good evening, Emily. Welcome in. And the second is have a notebook and some ideas handy because, as you saw from the title of today's live session, we are going to be brainstorming your content ideas. And I'm going to do everything I can to facilitate a direction for you in that realm. Now, of course, like I said, I'm Michelle with Yes Michelle Crochets. And most of the time, what you'll find on my channel is empowering positive thinking and motivation all around crochet. But my second passion is teaching. And what I love teaching more than anything is something that I already know. What do I know? I know content creation. And my goal with these Wednesday night live sessions is to help you be a better content creator no matter your niche. Good evening, Marty. Hello, and how are you? So, as you come in, if you'll do me another quick favor, put a star emoji in the comment section if you currently have a channel and you're interested in getting more information on how to develop your brand and be a little bit stronger in your content creation activity. So that would certainly help me a lot. I love the fact that Marty comes in and puts a sun in. I'm telling you, her personality truly brightens my day. So thank you for being here tonight. And then, of course, Emily knows I am addicted to all things her and her family. So, with that said, you, sweetie, you are the best. I am not going to. Another thing about lives with me, as you may or may not already know, and hey, team replay for those of you who will see this later, I enjoy engagement with my community and my audience. Of course, I do tell everyone there is no political chatter here, nor is there any religious conversation. But we do need to stay on topic. Tonight, I'm not going to be putting the comments on the screen as much as I normally do on our Saturday lives, simply because it's a little distracting for me. And I am fortunate enough to have Floss and Crochet with Marty available to edit this live after to get rid of all the fluff and the gum of it all and give you just the topic at hand. Hey there, Jess. Welcome in and thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate having you. So rather than spend a lot of time socializing, which I would dearly love to do, let's get started with today's topic. Of course, it's all about brainstorming the content information that you're going to come up with, especially if you yourself are a content creator or an emerging one. And the person that that's for knows who it's for. Maybe it's you. Anyway, good evening, VJ. How are you tonight? Welcome in, and I'm so glad to have you with us. As I was saying, I have a passion for teaching because I love to teach. I love teaching what I know and what I have learned over almost 10 months or so many of the ins and outs and dynamics of being a content creator that you either learn through hard knocks. Good evening, Kitty Lane. How are you tonight? I love the purple hearts. Thank you. You should pop in. I just might. I just might. But for now, tonight, we are focused on this live. So, with that said, one of the primary focuses for my channel when I first got started was all about crochet. I did try very quickly and very briefly to do tutorials. I'm not a tutorialist. I don't care for it. It's not something that speaks to my passion. Will I do it later? It's possible. But for now, that's not what works for me. What I have learned through using the resources of YouTube is my audience enjoys the engagement that I give them through conversation. I'm sorry. Good evening, Michelle. Good evening. Hey, thank you for popping in, Cecilia. Welcome in. And if you're listening to the audience that you've cultivated, they're going to give you signs and symbols of things to know what content ideas to lean into. But at the core of content creation and knowing what you want to put in front of your audience, hey, Sam, is information such as what are they watching? How long are they watching your videos? Are they watching your shorts and only your shorts? Or are they watching your long form content but don't make a lot of connection with the shorts that you put up? You see, what I'm learning from a lot of YouTube gurus is that YouTube is pushing shorts. And for those of us who do long form content, that may not be the way we want to go. Do we need shorts? Honestly, not really. If you have quality, engaging content, you don't need to worry about shorts because shorts, well, let's think about what shorts were created for in the first place. It was YouTube's knee-jerk reaction to TikTok. TikTok is basically a short form content medium. Good evening, Zach. Welcome in. You are not late, baby. You are perfectly on time. And if that's their reaction to it, you can bet they didn't test it. They didn't consider a rollout of it with the consideration of what channels it benefits, what channels it won't benefit, what does the audience's engagement to it do. They merely saw that here is TikTok over here blowing up, and we don't have anything like that. So we need to get this out there, and we need to get it out there now, and we need to push our content creators to making it. The truth of it is, thank you, Zach. We'll put it in this cup. But the truth of it is, if your audience, your core audience is coming for certain aspects of your videos, the short form content isn't going to generate a lot of their attention. The other side of that coin is very few. Now, there are some outliers, but very few people who engage and connect with your shorts are going to turn into subscribers, which means unless you're getting millions of views on a viral related content in short form, it's not going to do a lot for your channel. Just said it best. Shorts are for youngins, in my opinion. It's very true. It is. It is for people with very short attention spans who could not be bothered to stay focused with the long-term content that you're producing. Long-term content gives you the opportunity for AdSense revenue, gives you the opportunity to have chapters so that someone can watch your video. Maybe they need to take a break. Maybe they need to do something and come back to it at a designated point and connect again. Whereas if you notice, the short-term format does not necessarily show up in your feed in a manner that works for your audience. Now, do I have short-form content? Absolutely. What do I use it for? It's basically a commercial. And I say that to anyone who's considering growing their platform, growing their channel here on YouTube. Know who your target audience is. If you are someone who loves the way things work on TikTok, but you want to do it in the YouTube sphere, my personal recommendation is you have a second channel and put your shorts over there where people who are looking for shorts, who only want that quick hit of information, can go over there, watch it, and get what it is. Get what it is that you are producing. Anyway, I'm noticing the chat and I do get distracted, so I have to be careful with that. On to other aspects of our conversation tonight. As I said, I wanted to give you a little bit of background on my focus as my channel has morphed a little bit. Initially, I was all about all aspects of crochet, sharing the deal and the steal, of course, staying away from the tutorials and crocheted pants and amigurumi. None of that's in my wheelhouse. But what is in my wheelhouse is positivity and helping others. And I have heard pretty much since I pressed my button, there are so many of the people who watch my channel who are currently content creators or who would like to be a content creator in the future. With both of those things into consideration, I thought the best thing I could do is offer the information I've learned over my few months on YouTube to help everyone do what they want to do with gust and zeal and successfully. Now, a bit of recap of what you need to know before you press the play button for the first time. You need to know your niche. In order to have quality content, not to be sitting in front of your phone, your iPad, or your laptop, you first need to know, who are you talking to? Who is your target audience? Is it someone in the same gender as you, or maybe gender persuasion? Maybe you're talking to someone of the opposite sex. Maybe you're a mom who wants to impart wisdom to a student going off to college for the first time about different things to do, different things to learn, different things to stay away from. I can't tell you what your niche needs to be. That's a personal decision. But what I can tell you is, once you've picked your ideal target audience, then you know who you're talking to. Now you need to start cultivating the ideas of what you want to say. I always recommend, before you press the record button, start thinking about, what do you want the flow of your video to look like? As many of you know who've seen any of my videos, I start my videos out with a quote of the day. I don't write the quote. I literally get it from an app. Many times it's that day's quote. Sometimes it's a quote that I've seen in research and I thought, this is perfect for a Monday, or this is perfect for a Friday. And I'll put it in my little book, which, matter of fact, my book is right here on my desk, because I kid you not, I live for a good quote. So I have my little book right here, and I see a quote that excites me or that I think is going to be something I want to share, and I write it in. And I keep those things handy because I need positivity around me at all times. So I keep that available to add into my video. I also have pre-written talking points. I have a script already set up for myself. I go through the script. If you've watched my videos, you know there are times you see me looking down. It isn't that I don't want to make connection with you. It is that I want to give you all the information that I've got set to go. Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. If rather do a video than a short. Okay, I think he's saying I'd rather do a video than a short. Absolutely. For quality engagement that eventually can turn into revenue, 9 times out of 10, unless you want to push it out real far in the algorithm, you're going to need to do a video. That's the engagement most of us are looking for. I'm sorry, I am going to tap this because I cannot see the chat. Okay, one of my favorite quotes is, listen to hear, not to respond, by me. This is true, and we should. Anyway, another bit of housekeeping I want to add to this conversation is, guys, help me stay on task, because you guys know I love you all, and I'll jump into the weeds with you about a little bit of everything. So I am going to beg you to help me stay on task. And Emily remembered my new trick to dealing with StreamYard and that darn button that I can't see around. Hit boop. After you type a message that you want me to see, type the word boop. It moves the chat up just enough that I can see what it is you've said. And thank you. Thank you for understanding and being kind with me about this, because I do get lost very easily. Another aspect is using your post notifications for surveys and questions about content ideas and engagement, especially when you're talking to a new audience, because they're going to tell you what they want to see. I've had people who love to email me and tell me, Michelle, I love that you add music to the crochet component. I love having a crochet buddy, but I especially love that the music gives me a rhythm to crochet to. So that always excites me. It also lets me know that I am on the right pathway with crocheting in my videos and with giving them music. I have not had any negative feedback on the music choices that I make. So it tells me that I'm on the right path with that as well. When you're making decisions of content ideas, you're going to have to test things out. Some things are going to work, some things are not. I have been benefited that my audience has engaged with most everything I've put up. Not necessarily, though, with the book club, and that was okay. I had a wonderful support team of people who were there for me, but the reality of it was not exactly what my audience was looking for. It didn't serve the purpose that I wanted it to serve. It doesn't stop me from reading. It just means that's not appropriate for this platform, for this channel. So I'm all right with that. That's all aspects of understanding your audience better. Exploring trends and inspiration. And this is something that I recommend, especially new and emerging content creators, to consider. Where do we look for ideas related to our niche? And the answers are right in front of your nose. Google. Google has things called Google Trends. What's trending right now? So if you were to go to Google and say, what's trending in the crochet community? It's going to give you answers. The other thing that is available to us all, whether we use it or not, is AI. Whether you're using ChatGPT or you're using Gemini or whoever else, heck, even Canva, which is the program that I use to make my thumbnails and things like that, is now rolling out an AI component. That being the case, use the resources that you have available to you to come up with those ideas and things. And Jess, you type something that I can't see it, so do me a favor and type the word boop. But those ideas are right there at your fingertips. Another great way to source information of potential content for your channel in your niche is, who do you watch? Thank you. Exactly. You never know unless you try. This is very true. But when it comes to content creation, very few of us picked up YouTube and said, I'm going to start a channel without having people we were already watching. So look at those channels that you've engaged with, that maybe you're subscribed to and possibly even a member with. Look at what they're talking about. Or there's certain things they discuss at certain times of the year. Do they do certain things repeatedly year after year or month after month? At the beginning of the month, they do this. At the end of the month, they do that. I'm not telling you to cut, copy, paste, because the reality of it is other people can watch that channel. What I am telling you is their elements of success can be reproduced with your particular personality and spin. That connection, that personality that you bring is truly brand specific. I am one of those people who has a tendency to be very wordy. Good evening, Thrifty. Welcome in. And people resonate with that. They trust me as an authority of what I'm saying. Whereas there are some people who are amazing at making that personal connection. They're kind of folksy and they've got that, oh, you're just at home with them relationship. And you go and see them every time because you know that's like a hug and a slice of pie. And we all need a hug sometime. So that part makes it pretty exciting for engagement. Know what your voice is and how you connect to your audience. That will help you pick content that is appropriate for your channel. It's very trendy right now for people to be talking about amigurumi. If I start talking about amigurumi, please do us both a favor. Turn it off. Because 9 times out of 10, I don't know what I'm talking about. That's not my wheelhouse. It's not my mission. I love it. I think it's amazing, but it's not something that I'm passionate about. Now, could I share a book with you about it? Absolutely. Will I? Maybe. I know of a book that I think would be pretty awesome for people who are interested in it. But the reality of it is, I can't speak to whether or not the patterns are well written because I'm never going to do the work. Thank you, Thrifty. Thank you. Thrifty is pointing out that the last video she watched of mine was very informative, and I'm grateful for that. But the reason that that content was informative is because I did my research, and honestly, I watched a couple of other channels talk about their take on some of the points, and I don't even know what video she's talking about, but that's how I cultivate my content. I look at other channels. What are they talking about? What information are they relaying to us so that we can learn? Thank you, VJ. So that we can learn more about that topic. And then I add my own spin to it, my own point of view, and my own connection to the situations that I talk about. So, like I said, Google Trends is a great resource, of course. Another wonderful resource, and I will put all of this after the video goes live in the description box. So if you would do me a favor, come back and check out the description box. I'm going to have those video links. Somebody named Flossom Crochet was supposed to show me how to do it in advance, and we didn't get to it. So I'm calling her out because she's amazing. She's also my editor, and she is going to help me make sure those links get in there after this video goes live. But another place to find exploration for topics is a website called exploringtopics.com. Literally that easy. She just said, oops. That's okay. If you watched my demystifying the algorithm video that I put up yesterday, you can thank Marty for that video because she edited for me. And I'm so well pleased with her taking out so much of my unnecessary chatter and making that video amazing. Now, keep in mind another great resource that people kind of overlook is Reddit. There is literally a Reddit on every topic and every niche that I have seen on YouTube. Either snark pages or informational pages. Thank you, Emily. She says, you ladies are busy and amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I will give all credit to Marty. She is amazing. But I'm going to tell myself that there are certain steps I'm still growing and learning. Despite the fact that I feel very confident in coaching new and emerging content creators, I, like anyone else, am still learning. So there are things that I'm going to learn today that I'll be able to bring to the table tomorrow. But the foundations of how to get started, where to source your information, what to and not to do, well, those things I've learned and I'm happy to share with you. I'm sorry. So is Michelle. Thank you, Kitty. Thank you. And she remembered my boot because, yes, I am still needing the boot. Anyway, excuse me for just a second. Your girl's got to have a sip. Diet Coke is delicious today. Deep dive educational conversations that you want to have. I've mentioned this before. Part of doing these lives is making sure that I do my homework first. I don't just sit down. Oh, there's a question. Hit boop so I can see your question. And I'm going to wait on your question just because I know you're coming up with it. What does boop mean? Boop means nothing. It's merely there so that it moves the chat up one particular window. So after you say something, like anyone who's ever watched the Aviator movies where they say Roger closes out the conversation, boop moves the chat up so that I can see what you're saying. Thank you, Emily. It helps me read your comments. That's all it is. So Anyway, I'm sorry, idea generation. Hi, Sunita. Welcome in and thank you for being here tonight. Sunita, if you missed what I was saying about the word boop, after you post a comment, if you would next type just by itself the word boop, it moves the chat up so that I can see what's being said. And I thank you in advance for that. Um, Deep diving educational content. As I was saying, do your research and do your homework. By being confident and competent in the information that you're relaying, you're going to source your information, but then the information that you give out is going to be solid. You can answer questions about what you're talking about, and you're going to be able to help your audience trust, know, like, and agree with the information you're giving, making them want to come back and connect with you more. Now, sure, it's sometimes fun to watch a channel spiral right before our eyes. And I call that rage baiting. I'm sorry, but as a person of positivity, I deal with children. I don't want to watch childlike behavior when I'm sourcing this atmosphere for information and entertainment. I'm not entertained by rage and ridiculousness. The other thing that we need to redefine when it comes to YouTube is YouTube basically is a living, breathing educational encyclopedia. It is your resource of visual how-tos. Just hit boop because I can only see ideal. Anyway, this place being a source of information, what you're putting out there is evergreen. It's going, whether it's relatable for now or for always is irrelevant. The conversation and the information is there evergreen. Oh man, no temper tantrums. Not today, ma'am. I put people in time out, mute, and block. It's what I do. I deal with enough of that at work, a man or a woman, depending on how you look at it. Anyway, part of what I want you guys to take home for today, as far as a resource of content creation and coming up with your ideas, is as much as you need to have a library of ideas, you need to also have a schedule. If your audience knows that on this day, at this time, I can expect my favorite YouTuber who talks about working on KitchenAid stand mixers to show me how to clean my stand mixer, and particularly my model of stand mixer, then I'm going to guarantee I'm going to lock in at that time. If I know that my favorite makeup girly is going to do a get ready with me on Monday morning and tell me all about a mystery that I don't know anything about, and that's my interest, well, you can bet I'm going to lock in and watch that on that day. But if that same girl is going to be talking about shoe shopping at a resale shop, that's not my thing. So I won't be there for that. And she will look at her algorithm and decide whether that's stuff she wants to show. So there you go. 1 second. LOL, Marty, for me, I love my girls. I don't mind being okay. And see, that's another component of specialty from person to person and channel to channel. I don't have children of my own that are little people. My children are grown people. So if they show up on the video with me, hello, Amelia, welcome in. Amelia, just a moment of reflection for you. I'm going to ask, after you post a statement, immediately put in a message that says boop, because it moves the channel up. So if you're looking at the chat and you're seeing all these boops, wondering why is everybody booping? We are booping, so we move the chat up so that I can see it. Nonetheless, what I don't allow on my channel is children. So if we're in a Zoom session or a live session where I have guests, I am always going to ask my guests in advance, if you have children in the area, please make sure that they're not on camera. I don't want children on my channel because this is not a place for kids for us. Doesn't mean I don't love children. Quite the opposite. I love them a lot. I just don't want them on my channel. Boop, boop, boop. You guys are messing with me now and I love it. I love it. Anyway, On to timely and in trending topics. Of course, I mentioned evergreen topics. This is a topic of conversation that will be interesting and appropriate for your audience at any time they watch it. Of course, we have holidays that we celebrate, we have certain weather seasons that we celebrate, and those videos related to those topics, of course, are timely. We just recently, not to get into the weeds of it, but we just recently moved into spring and we're moving very quickly into the summer season. So for those of us in the crochet niche, this is the time we're going to be talking about tank tops and summer dresses and summer this, that, and the other. What yarn is going to be fun to work with and wear in the summer as opposed to the thick, heavy, dense wools. So that's something to take into consideration, and that does become timely and trending. If you're talking about something that is seasonal, then make sure that you're talking about it in advance of the time that you want people to take advantage of it. If I wanted to tell you about a sale that happens once a year at a particular store, then I'm going to usually tell you about it 2 to 3 weeks in advance, with the anticipation that I'm also going to talk about it again a week before, 3 days before. If I'm going to be going and I want to see my audience there, then I'm going to say a day before that on this date at this time, you can see me at this store. I will also tell you I will almost never do that because I have a serious aversion to peopling. And my social battery is not the best. So you can almost bet if you see me out and about, I'm just not up for a lot of conversation. And it's not to be mean. It is to say that I have anxiety and I don't do well with that. So there's that. Now, on to refining your priorities. I highly encourage any content creator to know your limits. Know the areas of conversation and topics, no matter how trendy they are, that you want to talk about, you feel comfortable and confident in addressing. There are plenty of topics right within the crochet community that are not my space to talk about. I don't talk about, I will say I will never crochet pants, but I mean that for men and for women. Now, this may be a whole trending thing in the male crochet community. I'm not a man. I don't wear male clothing. So that's not my safe space to talk about. This puts a door in front of me. Talking about whether it's appropriate to crochet in public. Yes, I can speak about that because I do it. That whether that's a trending topic of conversation, well, that's for you to decide and make a video on it if that's your wheelhouse and interest. Know what you're comfortable with talking about. Going back to the concept of a schedule, I have a schedule. There are 2 days a week that I almost never do a video. Sunday and now Tuesday. I used to use my Tuesdays to do Terminology Tuesday, where I went over the glossary letters that we see in pattern abbreviations. Now that I have concluded that, I use that time to do my research and my homework. What I'm learning is by putting out my schedule on Monday as a post on my channel, my audience knows when to expect me to be live, what to expect to see from me on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and what to expect to see from me on Mondays. I will tell those of you who have channels and those of you who are considering putting up a channel, utilize that premiere availability when posting a video. By causing your video to show up as a premiere, you get live engagement with your audience in real time while your video is playing. So if I put up a video tomorrow, which is Whip Work Wednesday, shameless plug, then at the same time that that video goes live on YouTube, if it's also a premiere, I'm 9 times out of 10 going to be in the chat having conversations, answering questions, self-criticizing when necessary, but also getting a true flow and engagement of what my audience is thinking of that video in real time. I don't have to wait for YouTube Studio to say you had high engagement during the conversation component of your video, but within 2 minutes of you starting the crochet component, your audience went down. I can see that in real time because I literally know how many people are in the room and how many people leave. Like right now, we currently have 10 people watching this video in real time. And I'm getting to see your chat. So I know what you're thinking. Hopefully, you're enjoying the information that I'm sharing with you and that this is resonating with you as content creators or potential content creators. If you're not even considering having the channel, then maybe you're enjoying learning about how we come up with the information that we present to you in the chat. So that's something that you might want to consider. Know that you get real-time engagement by simply using the Premiere. Excuse me. That makes me think of Zach because Zach always has a drink for me when we're in the same room together. And I am missing, forgive me. Love seeing you in the chat during them. Makes like an, oh, thank you. Thank you, Emily. That's the second part of having your video show up as a premiere. You're getting that connection with your audience. You're talking with them one-on-one. They're probably telling you, oh, I like that you're talking about this yarn. I thought about buying it, but I didn't. And now getting to see it worked up makes me think I want it. Or maybe they can ask you, is that itchy? Like, had I known before I purchased my first thing of Bitty Stripes that it's itchy, I don't know that I would have bought it. But since then, I've used it, I've washed it. I have found that it washes up beautifully and is super squishy and comfortable. So I don't mind the itch. I just use a lot more of my personal salve to get rid of that itchiness on my hands. So there is that. Now, that also leads me into how to critique whether or not you're picking what your audience wants to see. Are you seeing growth of engagement as far as your time of video being watched? Are you seeing that your subscriber counts are going up? Or is it stagnant? If you're seeing that your subscriber counts are not going in an upward direction, it might be time for you to look at, is my engagement what I want it to be? Am I looking to make this channel grow? You also need to know before you press the button for the first time, what is your end game? Is this just a place for you to do fun things on your channel with no intention of monetizing this channel? Then do whatever you like. Have a ball. But if your goal is to use this as a side hustle, a monetized vehicle for some measure of support, either to offset the cost of the yarn that you buy, or maybe it's to offset the money that you're spending working on your car if you're doing a car channel. I can't tell you what your niche is. I can tell you that this is not only a job, it's a business, and it can be expensive. Whether it's a $50 microphone, or if you consider the cost of your telephone, if you're filming on your phone, yes, you already have it. Maybe you've paid it off, maybe you haven't. But it is, when you do your taxes, something you could write off as a business expense if you treat your YouTube channel like a business. Maybe you pay for software like Epidemic Sound or Canva Pro or things like that. All of these things are considerations you need to utilize when you're considering whether this is something you want to take money out of your pocket to pay for. This is why I am face forward on my channel and very open about the fact that this cost. And I appreciate in advance anyone who becomes a member of my channel because they help me offset the cost of producing the videos that I do, going live, being available for Zooms, and things like that. All of those things have a cost factor, and I cannot just shell out the type of money that this can cost you to spend just to produce videos. And for me at least, I have other expenses. I don't own my own home, so I have a household budget that I have to address. And if I'm going to address it and still have fun as a YouTube content creator, well, at some point it has to start paying for itself, at least a little. And I will say, thanks to many of you, it really is starting to pay off. I'm sorry, Kitty added something. Please understand that YouTube alone will not make you rich. A man, a woman, yes. Now, if you gain outside sponsorships as a result of your popularity, that's a different avenue. That's very true. The other thing is, like many people, we all have varied skill sets. Whether you are capable of editing videos for others and someone will contract you to do that, shameless plug for Marty because she does that for me, or you write patterns and you can help people design prom dresses or headpieces for weddings and things like that, and you can open up a stand store. Maybe you have the ability to write workflows and charts and things like that, and you can open up a stand store for something that like that with digital marketing. Maybe you're rebranding other people's remarketable products in your stand store. Again, I'm not telling you what to do. I am telling you that the resources are bigger than AdSense revenue. And Marty added, there are so many potential income streams that arise from YouTube. So many. So true. So true. And that's the kind of resource that can also parlay into a topic idea. How do you make money on YouTube beyond making your video? There's an idea for you and an idea for me. Shh. We'll talk about that later. So, and again, if your audience is available for that type of engagement and entertainment, that becomes a revenue for other people to learn from. Hello, Ursula. Welcome in. Ursula, because you didn't hear the conversation before you arrived, I'm going to ask that whenever you put a comment in, immediately put another comment in that says boop. What that does is it moves your comment up just a little bit so that I can see the entire thing in one fell swoop, because there's a button in my way and I can't see. Thank you. She said, good evening, everyone. So glad I was able to join in. Well, I am so glad you're here tonight. Of course, Ursula is connected with me through Dr. Lisa, who is an amazing educator in the TikTok sphere. I, of course, am her educator for the YouTube side of things. And I am happy to see that Ursula has arrived tonight. Hopefully this thank you. This gives her the opportunity to see a live presentation done on YouTube. And I'm sorry, Emily, give me my boop. I see exactly. That's all I see. Anyway, with that said, we have talked. I have talked. We have not talked. I have talked for 45 minutes. What type of questions do you guys have related to the information that I have given you all tonight? Do you have questions about sources for getting ideas for your content? How to set up a schedule? What are the types of things that you're running into that could sometimes be potential roadblocks to coming up with content ideas? And if you'll excuse me, I need a sip. And Ursula, just so you know, it's totally okay to have drinks and food on YouTube. There's no dinging for that, because they allow it. And I am grateful because there is no way I could do an hour without having something to drink. And oh, Emily was just saying exactly to Marty. So, whew, you guys forgive me. Understand that I have been up since 3 o'clock this morning and I have been battling a migraine since last Thursday. This thing ebbs and flows, but has not given me a break yet. And for those of you who know me well, you know why I am battling this migraine. But the end game is coming. And I think the yes ma'am is just a yes ma'am. I don't know if there's anything behind it. So, with that said, whew, breathing and thank you. I'm going to assume you guys don't have any questions related to what I shared tonight. I do certainly hope that for those of you who are interested in getting a one-on-one session with me to deep dive your particular channel, I would love to meet with you. Of course, I have linked my Stand store and I've linked my memberships, shameless plug for me, but those will give you access to me one-on-one, and we can curate and cultivate ideas and strategies to help you grow your brand. I'm sorry, Kitty said something. Okay. My mind is a major highway at rush hour. How do you set the topics in a timely manner? I use a schedule. I literally plan out in my planner on Mondays. I am exclusively going to talk about motivation. I'm sorry, I'm going to get back to your question in a half second. Lately, my channel seems dead, like no one's getting notified. Today's video seemed to be helping. More views since the upload prior. Emily, my recommendation to you is twofold. One, continue to put up quality content. Your audience is coming. Two, look at your YouTube studio. It literally will give you a grid of when is your audience watching. And if you want to curtail when you upload your video to match when your audience is watching, you're going to get a higher level of engagement. That part of it right there tweaked something for me. I found that for me, my audience is most often available in early afternoon and early evening. And I chose early afternoon because it doesn't tend often to intersect when other people are watching other channels. As you know, this is a super highway, and right now there are some very large, passionate content creators that I want to go watch, but they're on at the same time that I'm geared and set to do this. So I know that my audience engagement isn't as high as it would normally be, but conversely, I get them as team replay. I always tell people, if there's another content creator that you love who's already on at a time when I pop in, please don't leave their live. Catch me on team replay because I'm still getting the engagement and support, and the numbers matter. Keeping in count and in mind that when a video goes live, within the first hour, YouTube is clocking and documenting how many people watched your video, how long they watched your video, whether they left a comment, did they hit like on your video. All of those factors matter. And forgive me, I'm laughing because I use my television for my epidemic sound, and I apparently have a Amazon person standing on my porch who just realized I'm not going to reply, so they're leaving, but they left my package, and that was what was important. So those are the types of things we need to be cognizant of. We need to use our YouTube studio as an educational tool to give us a really good idea of when we need to upload, what we want to upload. And Kitty, I say to you again, having a programmed schedule and making sure that your videos flow and introduce the next concept, especially if you're talking about topics that don't necessarily connect. Like in your case, you talk about crochet, but you also talk about ASL, and you connect them through teaching. You are a teacher, so therefore we're coming to you no matter the topic because we love your relatability. But if you say on Tuesdays, We're going to talk about purse construction. I'm just guessing. You talk about a lot. I'm still learning from you. But if you say on Tuesday, come sit with me while we stitch on a purse and we talk about how to take something from your mind to put through yarn and make that product. And then on Wednesday, we're going to talk about how to do signs and symbols as words. Those two differences, telling your audience what to expect, what to come back for. Use teaser opportunities. Again, I'm going to tell you guys that post notification is critical. Another thing we need to do time and time again is remind our audiences that YouTube has a notorious habit of unsubscribing people who watch our channels all the time. So we need to remind our audiences, do me a favor, check your subscription to my channel. Is the bell notification still ticked? Is the subscribe button still pushed? If the answer is yes and you're not getting notifications to my channel, it might be a good idea for you to hit that button, unsubscribe, and then resubscribe and retickle that bell notification. Of course, say it in your own words, but get across to your audience the fact that you love having them there. When your audience is there, engage with them. Say, hey, it's great to see you again, Emily. I'm so glad you're here. If you've noticed they haven't been there for a while, hey, I was thinking about you. I'm so glad you're in the room today. And then move right on with your topic. But that audience engagement is going to give you the retention that you're looking for. So there is that. And I have been talking for 52 minutes. You guys, please give me grace. I'm worn out. So I'm going to cut this just a little bit short tonight. I hope I've answered some of your questions and given you guys some really solid information on how to come up with ideas and concepts for content. I'm sorry, Kitty added, if it's income you desire and you're a content creator, consider gaming for money. I spent 1 hour a day gaming and used the money. Okay, there's a concept. I've never done that, but I bet it's fun. I bet it's fun. Nonetheless, with that said, you guys, thank you so much for being with me tonight. I love that you've spent this hour with me. I sincerely appreciate your time. And I will see you for a video tomorrow. And of course, a live next week. I will share the topic with you then, well, later this week, but anticipate we will have fun next week too. Until then, be sure and eat, drink your water, know that I love you, and have some fun today. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.